The Sound of Music is the movie we watched this week. My buddy Mal, hello nurse, is here with us today. Hey, they're not going to do it on the new cartoon, so I'm going to do it now. I am not politically correct.
What they're not?
No,
Not doing it in it? No, really?
it's a whole other subject.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
They took Hello Nurse out. I stopped watching the first cartoon.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just a little. I know I'm getting old and I'm set in my ways, but I like the old cartoon.
No.
Is all I can say. No, really, I am. I don't know if you noticed, Scott.
No, I never noticed, David.
But this is my buddy Mal, and Mal loves the sound of music.
Yes.
When Scott and I were talking about doing musicals, my wife and I looked at each other and said, Mallory. Mallory needs to be in on this. So I called up Scott. Scott, I got a buddy named Mal. She'd love to watch this. Scott was like, cool.
Nope.
So we're good.
We're good.
Mallory, you know probably more about this movie than I do. I've watched it a few times. I watched some specials on YouTube today, just like little tidbits and stuff that I'd either seen or heard of and forgot. But it's a very interesting movie. If you want to kick it off, go ahead, take it away now.
Well, I mean, as people know, and though some people may not know, it's based on the story of the Von Trapp family, going back to the captain and Maria. When they first meet, she comes in as their governess for all the children. They torture the hell out of her to start it off.
That's wrong.
I love it.
Contemplates leaving, and then decides, no, this is where I need to be. Fast forward, she starts to sing, gets them involved. They love it because now they have somebody who can kind of relate to them in some sort of way. And then she realizes that she's in love with the captain.
Yeah.
The captain has his other love.
The Baroness.
Yes, the Baroness, who really sees what's going on and tries to shy Maria back, and she does end up going back to the convent and is going to take her vows. And she discusses everything with the mother of the convent, and she tells her, look, this isn't your path. Your path is with these kids and this man, and she tells her to go back. She goes back. And of course, it's right during the height of the beginning of World War II, with Hitler starting to infiltrate Austria. And, they get married. While they're away, their best friend Max decides to make a little money off of the kids, and they're singing.
What a good friend.
And, they come back from their honeymoon a little early, and they find out that they are now the Von Trapp family singers. And he gets a letter in the mail, the captain gets a letter in the mail saying that he's got to report for the Third Reich, which he wants no part in, so he decides they're going to leave.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Not the worst decision he ever made.
No. So they decide to leave under the performance that night. Yeah. And, when they're leaving and they're trying to escape, the Third Reich realizes it and tries and chases them down. They go back to Maria's convent. One of my favorite scenes with the nuns when they're like, Mother, I've sinned. Mother, I've sinned.
Oh, that was great. With the yes.
They bring up the rotor arms and starters.
It's one of the best scenes ever. Like, I live for that scene alone.
That's a great scene.
Yeah, and then, they decided they're going to walk across the Alps to freedom, to Switzerland. And I think one of the cool parts about it that not many people realize, they do take some liberties,
right,
with the artistic liberties with it. But one of the things that they did not talk about is that Maria von Trapp was actually pregnant at the time when she was crossing the Alps.
On any of the specials that I watched, I didn't see that, or maybe I got up and walked out of the room at the time. Wow.
Yeah, so she was pregnant with their first child together. to cross over to Switzerland, and then they go over there and eventually, past the movie, they become the Von Trapp family singers and they perform all around the world.
Right.
So,
they traveled all over. It was amazing.
All over. And I mean, it's just to me, it's it's good. I'm a huge Julie Andrews fan, always been since like day one. Christopher Plummer was probably one of my very first crushes.
Mine too.
And just in New York City, I was trying to get to it beforehand, but they do the sing along in the city with it, and like people come and dress up like
wow.
Yeah, just like the same way they do the Rocky Horror Show.
Oh no,
I would rather go to this.
Yeah, I think this would be a lot more fun.
Yeah, but they due to COVID and everything that's been going on lately, they really haven't done it. But like when it gets back up, you guys are gonna have to come up and
that would be awesome.
That would be a blast. That'd be a freaking blast.
Yeah. So I think that sums up the whole story.
That's the whole story. Okay, bye, folks.
It's funny. One of the first, that is one of my notes too that I had written down. I usually watch these movies and try and be really critical and point things out. And this was almost impossible because I enjoy this so much.
Yeah.
The singing, the dancing, the choreography, the photography, the acting. It's all so good. And it does not feel like a 3-hour movie.
No.
But I do have on here the nun sabotage in the car is just absolutely great. But I love when she shames the kids into crying at the dinner table on the first day.
Brilliant.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Why are they crying? Why are all my children crying? They're just happy.
Happy. They're happy.
Yes, they're happy. Just the look on his face, he's like, this is going to be a regular thing now. What's going on here?
Well, that and when he's returning with the Baroness back home after going to get her and Uncle Max.
Yeah.
And he sees the kids in the tree and he just kind of like does a double take.
He's not sure if he actually saw what he saw. Like, are those? No.
Just some local urchins.
Yeah, they can't be my kids.
No. And then later on when he finds them on the boat,
Yeah.
Right.
He's like all ticked up. He's like, my kids are all going all around Oxford with,
dressed like that.
Curtains on, grapes, and it's just like so funny. And one of the other like really little clips from that little piece of information, when they practiced that scene with the boat, the youngest child, she couldn't swim.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So they had to practice where they're all falling back, and Julie Andrews is able to go over and grab her and bring her to shore. Now, if you watch the movie, take a look.
Yeah.
She falls backwards and the kids fall forward. So she
right over the front.
Out. But she ends up, the girl who played Liesel got her and carried her to shore.
Yeah.
But she was so scared about it.
How would you like to be the person that you're supposed to grab that kid and you couldn't get to him? You're like, oh shit!
Yeah, exactly.
I just killed a 5-year-old. I'll never be forgiven.
I'd like to think they had people nearby.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like movies today where you've got
No.
The director told Julie Andrews, "You're going to have to grab this kid. She doesn't know how to swim." So Julie Andrews' whole plan was to fall forward.
Right.
Next to the kid and just bring her up right away. Well, she fell backwards. The kid fell forward. You had about 20 feet.
Wow.
There were no divers in the water, man. There was nobody there to make sure that kid was okay. Fuck it. Just film it.
Yeah, exactly.
Go.
There's plenty of other 5-year-olds.
There's another 5-year-old right over there that can sing.
Yeah.
Just go. Nobody will notice that we replaced them.
Poor Gretel.
I know, seriously. And, you're talking about the replacement. Funny enough, like, here's another little tidbit, because, I have all these things and they just...
see, I knew you'd be perfect to have on here. This is great.
One of the actresses on The Young and the Restless actually tried out, and she didn't get the part. So I'm guessing if Gretel had, drowned, they probably would have gone and gotten her back and, put her in. I can't think of her name. She plays Nikki Newman. She's married to Victor on the show. Like, Melody something.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that other kid's name? Yeah, go get that one.
Let's get her in there. Come on, bring her in. Yeah.
Just leave her in the water. She'll float downstream.
Exactly.
Fine.
Kick her out, hang her out the dry. She'll be fine.
She'll be fine. I only have one note. One note for this entire movie. Like, I was going to take notes.
Uh-huh.
The one note that I wrote down is Rolf's a jerk.
Oh, from day one.
From day one, that kid was a little. Whoa.
He was.
I wouldn't want my daughter around him anyway.
Yeah.
However, with Ralph and Liesel, they have one of my favorite scenes is in the gazebo, and the choreographed dancing up and down off the benches and that is just great. But yeah, at the end, I was hoping Captain Von Trapp would have just punched him.
Yeah, I was waiting for him too, but that's not where that movie was going. I mean, you could have sang it. You could have sang the punch.
Yes, you could have. It just kind of breaks your heart because, as a female, you always have those guys that you're like, oh my gosh, is this one for me? And, you sit there and you get to that point and you're like, all right, this is him, this is it. And then he just, like, breaks your heart. Like, you got to be thinking about, like, poor Liesel, like, it's really tough.
It's not like girls usually go for bad boys, right? Oh, we're going to be bad boys.
Yeah,
well, you don't get much badder than a fucking Nazi.
Yeah, but that crosses a line.
No, I just wanted a bad boy. I didn't want the genocidal maniac.
We're way past the bad boy at that
It's like, that's not a bad boy anymore. That's not good.
No.
Bad boy's the guy who wears a leather jacket and smokes.
Yeah.
Not a genocidal maniac.
Honey, why is your boyfriend goose stepping around the yard?
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, you really can't get much worse than that.
An interesting tidbit, and I just saw it on the YouTube special, is the girl who played Liesel talks about that dance scene.
Uh-huh.
At one point, she had new shoes. They were brand new shoes that day. They went to film. Her first step up on one of the things, she goes through the plate glass window because she slid through it. They forgot to put the thing on there. The director's freaking out. Why? He's just going nuts. Like, oh my God! They run over there. They take care of her. She said she didn't even get a cut going through the glass. She only sprained her ankle. In the original VHS, and I'm guessing you probably have the VHS mails.
I do.
Watch the dance scene on the original VHS.
Okay.
Her ankle wrapped up.
She
said since they put it to DVD, they went in and digitized it out.
Really?
So she tells that story, and people are like, no, it's not wrapped. And she's like, no, if you look at the original film, it's wrapped, and you can see it. Not very well. If you're not looking for it, you don't see it. But they showed it on the dance scene in the
original. Okay.
And I was like, holy crap. I mean, and she went out and she did it again with a sprained ankle. I'd have been one of those guys like, no, I can't go home now for a week, a month. Give me a month.
Yeah, that reminds me of Jackie Chan in Rumble in the Bronx. He broke his ankle.
Yeah.
So he had a cast that looked like a tennis shoe.
Yeah.
And he just kept going, and it's like, damn.
That's professional, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Professional, crazy. Yeah. I think they're both the same thing.
It's in line. That's all it is.
Right.
I think I counted like 7 songs before she actually gets to the Von Trapp home. Am I right? Or did it just seem like 7 songs sang before she?
It may have been.
It might have been. It might have been.
Like, she's singing an awful lot. She hasn't even started this movie yet.
Well, if I was with some of those nuns, I would be singing too because they were awfully judgy.
Yeah, they were.
It's a nun though. They got that ruler and they're going to judge.
They don't have much to do,
Right. And that's a funny little song number as well, is when the nuns they're singing bad things about Maria and then
what are they gonna do?
And all they can really come up with, she makes us laugh,
Yeah.
I think the worst thing about her is she talks a lot and she makes us laugh.
Yeah. And I think the ending of that is like just so funny too, because they're sitting there talking about it and then she comes through and she's like, crap, I'm late. she's running, and then she comes in and she's like, oh, shit, they're all here.
Yeah, she goes running past them on it, like 2 steps, and then stops, slides back in, and looks at her like,
well, I'm done. Yeah. I'll go to the principal's office now.
Yeah. That to me is
one of my favorite. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's what was noticeable was just the level of acting from Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer is just you saw it all right there in her face. It's like when she ran right by, it's like, oh shit, and it's so good.
Yeah, and the interesting thing was when they were casting for it, Christopher Plummer was already on, and they were trying to figure out who they were going to have for Maria. And, Julie Andrews, I think, had just finished Mary Poppins or something else, like, around that time. And he was like, you're going to give me a singer? He was like, she's not an actress. So at first, they kind of clashed heads. They didn't get along. And it wasn't
really?
She really kind of proved who she was.
Right.
So it was literally kind of like Maria and the Captain.
Right.
Well, I know. I know you had a problem with the kids. Like, as an actor, it was the old adage, don't work with kids or dogs, And he said eventually, like about halfway, 3/4 of the way through the film, he started really warming up to the kids. And he goes, in retrospect, they were all really good kids. Exactly. They were all really, really good kids.
They were. And I think the girl that played Liesel, Charmian Carr, I think she was 21 or 22.
21, yeah.
She did the movie.
Yeah, she definitely wasn't 16.
No, she definitely wasn't. And she told this story about how her, Julie, Christopher, I guess, and all of the directors and stuff had gone out one night to a bar for drinks. And, Christopher Plummer was a notorious drinker and partier.
Oh, yeah.
So, she said after a couple of drinks, he had tossed them back, and he turns to her and goes, so when are we going to go out on a date? And she was like, you do realize I'm playing your daughter. And he was like, I think it's time for us both to go to bed, so, yeah.
It's a little weird, Christopher.
Yeah.
I think that'll go too well, for the vibe on screen.
No.
Right. You don't want that story coming out.
This was Austria, not Alabama.
Right?
Yes.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, it's to me, this is a movie that just kind of transverses time.
Yeah.
No matter, what age you are. It just kind of always, it's something you gotta watch.
Yeah. This is one of those movies as a kid I was forced to watch. And because I was being forced to watch it, I didn't like it. As I got older, I started watching it. And I remember Kat and I watching it one time, and I was like, that's really good. And this is years ago I watched it with her, and I was like, what? I don't ever remember enjoying this movie. How is this good now? And it's because I wasn't being forced to watch it. I was just watching it on my own and seeing what it was. It's like the old Walton series. I was forced to watch that as a kid. Hated it. If I watch it now, I see all the character development going on in the stories. Yeah. And it's like, okay, now I understand why people liked it back in the day. But when you're forced as a little kid to watch something, you don't want to watch it. You're like, no, I hate it. Get it away. But now I watch it and I'm like, she's a hell of a good singer. The kids were all very talented. The choreographer was the same choreographer that was in Mary Poppins. It was the same lady. And the bicycle scene.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
To choreograph that, I mean, if you're just somebody watching it and you're like, oh, that's kind of a nice little scene. But the difficulty of getting those kids that are starting to sing up front and then letting them drop back and then kids with the next line come in, it's just amazing to me that they did. I wonder how many times they crashed.
A lot.
Yeah, exactly. They had to.
Ass over end, a bunch of little kids just.
Medic.
Bring in the replacement.
Yes.
We need another Gretel.
That's funny.
Bicycle hanging off his head. Just wrap it up.
Wouldn't have been bad if we weren't on the mountainside when it happened. It Everybody went right over. Everybody followed Julie right over the cliff.
Oh man, it's funny. One of my, the opening scene to me is like just amazing. And there's some funny things about that too, because it was like, they had a helicopter and they had to come in close.
Right.
They don't have cameras like they do nowadays.
Yeah.
So, Julie might have been maybe, 10 feet from the helicopter, and anybody who's been around the helicopter knows that downdraft from the blades can be ridiculous.
Oh, hell.
She's trying to sing, and she had said that, she's out there, she's turning, she's singing, and the helicopter would come in close, and she would fall. So they had to, keep doing that scene over again.
Oh, my.
And then the other part where she gets to the brook.
Right.
You got to throw the rocks in. There was a farmer who part of that brook was on his land. And he wasn't happy that people were filming around him. So what he did was he poked holes around it so that the water seeped into the ground. So the brook at one point was really, really low when they did it, because he was like, I don't want you people here. You're messing up with my sheep, type deal. And they finally had to say, look, we just need to get this shot. It will be out of your hair in a day if you let us give this.
Right.
This time.
Right.
But
that's funny.
Yeah, between the downdraft and the farmer, they had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's funny because as a kid watching this, and even now as an adult, anytime I see a hill that looks like the beginning of that, I'm running up it, twisting and turning. And I had gone to visit one of my friends.
Well, George Lucas was a huge fan.
So one of my friends, she had a house in Georgia, and it was literally on this huge hill.
Oh, no.
Right? So I told her, I said, just bear with me 1 minute. She goes, what are you getting ready to do? And I went running up the hill, and I spun around, and I started singing. And she just looked at me and goes, there's something so wrong with you. I said, this is the hill to do it. I'm like, get a camera. Film it,
Where's my close-up? Every time I see that scene, now I can't think of that other than the Phantom Menace. The second one, whatever the second one was, or the Phantom Menace, where the kids they're riding those big stupid animals.
Oh, gosh.
And everybody in the theater at the same time started singing "The Hills Are Alive" with the sound.
Oh no!
There had to be 100 people. Me, Kat, my buddy Pat was there, and we're all leaning into each other. The hills are alive, and you can hear it all over the audience. Everybody else is leaning into their buddy, saying it at the exact same time. It's what a horrible scene. Why didn't somebody tell George Lucas? No, just no, George, just no.
Would he have listened?
You know what? I think if he had somebody that would tell him no, maybe. But he,
I mean, man's got more money than anybody on the face of this earth, so pretty much do whatever he wants, and he probably doesn't even care.
Yeah.
Your opinion? What is that?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. I'm counting my cash.
Exactly.
I'm taking a $50 fast right now.
Yeah.
All in 50s.
Like Scrooge McDuck.
Yes. Diving into his.
Yeah.
Swimming in the Olympic-sized pool of $1,000 bills.
Right.
Awesome.
One of the things about this movie, and this brings me to what we reviewed last week, was Xanadu. When this movie broke into song, it made sense. It pushed the story forward. It felt more like a true musical, whereas Xanadu was a music video with roller skating and crazy 80s punk people.
Right.
But this was, to me, a more traditional. It's just, this is just a damn good movie all around. It's got great song, and it's not just about the music either. There's a love story in here that is really good. And then you also have the love between Maria and the captain, and then the captain's love of his country. and seeing everything going on and how he's standing firm, but the people around him are just joining right in with the Nazis. It looked like the butler had even tipped them off that they were leaving that night. And it's like, it's so intense at the end when they're trying to get out of there. And my understanding is they really didn't have that much trouble leaving.
No, they got on a train and moved.
Yeah.
They got on a train. But that's not going to make for a good movie.
No, it's not.
No,
not at all. This made for an intense scene.
I'm sure the Nazis were watching him. Because he had turned down, I think they said he turned down Hitler twice already. One for the submarine command, one for something, I forgot what the other one was. And then the third one was Hitler invited the family to come sing at his birthday.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
There's two different stories I've heard. One was they still turned him down and then they left. And the other one was you can't turn down Hitler 3 times. So they went and sang and then they left after that. It was to get some of the pressure off of them.
Yeah.
But the Nazis, they were being watched.
Oh, yeah.
They just didn't figure the guy was just going to leave. They're probably thinking, nobody's that stupid to jump on a train and just leave. Surely the family just left. They get the 302 out of town. What do we do? I don't know. We've never had anybody be so blatantly leaving. They took all their bags and shit.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one about, the love of country, because, especially when you hear him sing Edelweiss.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And, and he says, this is for the Austria that I know and love.
Yeah.
And that's where it was kind of like, here's your dagger, here's your big old F you, middle fingers to everybody who's there. We're keeping it Austria, we're not going to be Germany. And it's it's one of those things where it's just kind of like you sit there and you go, what could have possibly really been running through this guy's head, during that time?
Right.
Seeing that he has a love of Austria, a love of country, knows what's going on and knowing that it's wrong, but he's one man against this whole thing. What can he do?
And he has 7 children to take care of.
Yeah.
Now,
he did the only thing he could do.
Yeah, exactly.
Other movies where the guy stands up and he's like, I got to fight for my children. Well, sometimes in this case, if I were him, I would have probably done the same thing.
Yeah.
I have 7 kids. If I die, there's nobody to take care of them.
No.
So I'm taking my 7 kids and we're leaving. What about country? Well, you guys gave in. Bye.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Sorry.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck with your choices.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, exactly.
Go back afterwards and go, see? You guys should have listened. I don't know what to say. Get out of my house. I'm back and I want my house back too.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's like I said, it's just it's just not it's good altogether. There's not one bad thing. And I think with them putting Max in too, he provides that lightness when it gets kind of dark.
Yeah.
Well, he looks at I think how a lot of people wound up looking at it was the reality. Like, Max, I don't think could run.
No.
I don't think Max went with them in the movie. He didn't. In reality, it was a priest that went with them. But Max, I think, looked at it in a different way. He looked at it almost like a Humphrey Bogart from Casablanca.
Yeah.
Looked at it. Like, I'll work with you guys as long as you don't F with me too much.
Yeah.
And whenever it gets too thick and heavy, I'm either going to leave or I'm going to shoot somebody on my way out, but I'm going to try not to because I'm Max and I'm not a violent guy.
Well, he came across to me as an opportunist.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like if he didn't have to make waves, he wasn't going to.
Right.
Yeah.
I can work with anybody kind of attitude.
Yeah. He had said, I think the line was something along the facts of whatever happened, it's going to happen no matter what we do.
Right.
So he had pretty much already accepted that the Nazis were going to be taking this over, and he knew it was pointless fighting, at least for him.
unless you were willing to fight and kill a lot of innocent people.
Exactly.
And that's pretty much the problem. Whenever you start fighting and something like that, that's why the French resistance got to be so bad at that time. I mean, the French resistance, they were known to just kill anybody around a Nazi.
Yeah.
You know, oh, you're serving him tea? You must be a Nazi. Brrr. No, motherfucker, I'm serving him tea because I have to live.
I live,
I don't like him either. I put poison in the damn tea.
Give me 5 minutes, you would have seen.
Yeah, exactly. But I couldn't imagine, honest to God, I can't imagine being European at that point in doing that. My grandmother left Czechoslovakia as the start of the war, like after they were invaded somehow. The story I've gotten was she had to run away with my dad in tow.
Oh, wow.
And like he was the only one, they were like the only two in Czechoslovakia. Everybody else in the family was in America going, where the hell, where's my wife and where's my other kid? And, you know, my grandpa had to stay here and take care of this family. He couldn't go and get her. So she wound up coming through Ellis Island.
No.
I think my dad said they landed in Ellis Island. And I remember, I know I'm getting off on a tangent, but I remember I asked my dad about Ellis Island. I was like, well, what do you remember about Ellis Island? He's like, kneecaps. What? Because he was so short. He goes, all I could see were knees. Because he was just a toddler. That's all I remember. Kneecaps. And long lines. And a lot of standing around.
That's awesome now. Yeah. But that's the vision of a kid.
Yeah, exactly. When he said that, I just started laughing. I was like, yeah, I guess you're not going to remember much else.
Right.
But the movie in general, I mean, the choreography is fantastic. Like I said, that bicycle scene.
Yeah.
When I watched it the other night, I was just blown away by the kids going forward and coming backward.
Yeah.
And it's whoever had the line pedaled hard to come up forward as the other ones dropped back. And Julie Andrews had the littlest one on her little seat. And Julie Andrews said, she had to pedal even harder because she had this extra weight. And she showed it, to the kid so she can sing her line.
Yeah.
And you're half winded. I mean, I know it's all pre-recorded, but you're still winded trying to make it look like you're singing, That's
what they did such a good job of that. Things were synced up so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were perfect.
Well, it's like the helicopter shot, like you were talking when they come in and they're doing the round cut. That first cut, when she's doing her spin on the hilltop and she spins in the camera, I mean, that's an almost seamless cut from helicopter to stationary camera with her spinning. And I was watching that the other day and I actually rewound it and looked at it and I was like, wow, that's an incredible edit.
Yeah.
For that time, especially for that time. Now they would try to adjust it perfectly with, computers or whatever. But back then they didn't have that.
No, it was all filmed. They just cut it.
Yeah.
And
put it back together. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, it is. I mean, just the editing, editing the music, the choreography, just piecing everything together. I mean, there wasn't, I think for me, any dead time.
No.
Usually in a lot of movies now, there's like some scene where you're like, okay, I can get up and go to the bathroom right now.
Right.
When you're watching this, it's kind of like, all right, so I guess I'm just gonna have to hold this in until the end of this movie. All right, and you're sitting there like, It's like, note to self, next time wear a diaper. Okay.
Well, when I watched last night on Disney Plus, and it actually had an intermission.
Ah,
yeah, I forgot.
They do, yeah. Even when they showed on ABC, they put in the intermission now.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
They did that with long movies. Lord of the Rings could have used an intermission.
Yeah.
Definitely could have. Oh, yeah.
Somebody go use the bathroom. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss Frodo walking.
Yeah, exactly. As he carries the sword and argues with Sam.
Sam and Frodo.
Well, I
unrequited love of a hobbit.
Yeah.
Unrequited love of a hobbit. A hobbit, a love story.
You can't tell me it's not.
It's bromance.
It was.
That was truly a bromance. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I like in Christopher Plummer's character.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing him in this role, I didn't know he could sing.
Yeah.
I had no idea. He actually sang pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's done it like anywhere else or on anything else. I don't remember. But in this movie, he did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And I honestly can't picture anybody else of that time period playing the captain. It was really good casting on everyone, for everyone.
Yeah.
He did a good job, and his disdain for the children's shows early on, and then his love for the children shows even more as he's actually warming up to the kids in real life.
Yeah.
So that's nice to know that he came around.
Yeah, I think they made his character that way. At least the impression I got is he had to have all this rigid structure for everything because he did not want to focus on losing his wife that he had lost. So that gave him control of the children, everything, because he was upset with Maria when she went in that room. There's rooms here you shouldn't go in. And to see those walls start to come down as he starts to fall in love with her and in love with his children again and realize that there's more important things. And it was just touching. The whole movie is.
Yeah. And the Baroness coming to realization that even if the two of them get married, it's never going to happen. Like, he'll never have that.
Well, it took her long enough after she sabotaged everything.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. I think any woman in that position, especially in that time, would have done the same thing.
Oh, yeah. But I was like screaming at the screen.
I think most guys would have done the same thing. No, you need to go back to the priesthood.
Yeah.
You need to go.
If there's a guy, you go back to the priesthood. You're going to be a great priest.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was probably when Maria realized how truly in love she was with the captain when they dance.
Yeah.
And they do that dance. Like, there's just
the tension.
And you just
so
know
good.
that there's like all these other people around in that scene watching them, but they were the only two there.
Yeah.
And you literally, like, you could feel the heat coming off of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember looking at that and going, "Ooh, I hope I find somebody in this me like this."
That's how I want to feel.
Yes. Like, I want to dance and have my arms go, and I spin, and then we stop.
And then when you come so close, you can feel the breath, and you're like,
"Oh, yes, I've got the vapors."
Excuse me, Captain, I got to go.
And she was scared. She didn't, this was new to her. She was like, "Oh my God, I fell in love with my boss," basically.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's common quota today, but anyway, back then,
things that was talked about. That kind of thing was talked about back then.
Yeah, and she was supposed to become a nun. She was just supposed to do this for a little bit of time and then go back and take her vows and be one.
Yeah, but the Reverend Mother knew better.
She knew.
The Reverend Mother was like a Jedi. She knew.
She was. She was.
I'm just gonna keep throwing Star Wars references out.
No, she had one of the best lines. She had a great line in the movie, and I think it really is a good theme for it, is live the life you were born to live.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
that
was it. She knew Maria would never be a nun. She just
knew early on.
Yeah.
You might live in the convent your whole life, but you're never going to be a nun.
She's not going to be happy. She knew it.
Your heart wasn't in it.
No.
Yeah. And I think after, that scene when she sings to Maria.
Yeah.
And, then Maria's
every
like,
mountain?
great.
Yes.
And Maria's like, okay, I gotta go. And she comes back and the kids are they're playing the game with the Baroness and he's messing up. And
they're throwing that ball too.
I so bad just wanted one of them just be like, zing, and just bounce it off her head, And, she can't get the kids' names right. She can't follow the numbers. and then the kids are like, all right, well, we got to do something to make us happy. Let's see. And even that is just like so half-assed,
Oh, it was.
How sad it was pitiful.
Yeah, the agent's up there trying to give him the skinniest thing there, and they,
and then it's like they hear this voice, and it's like at that moment, it's just like I can remember even now, and I get the same feeling from the first time that I watched it told out. It's like this rush of like, oh my gosh, this is it,
Yeah.
And like she goes and she hugs the kids and she grabs their faces and kisses them and stuff like that, and it's just like you knew at that point. It's like no matter what else happens in this movie, it's gonna be okay for them.
Yeah. Right.
And I mean, they had a lot of crazy shit that they had to go through, but I think it's not so much that Maria filled the space of their dead mother, but she was able to take that pain away.
Yeah.
And kind of take that hurt energy that they had and make it into something positive.
Yeah, she could focus it. She showed them that there's somebody else out there that could love them and you could love too. Whereas I don't think they had that because the dad was so standoffish.
Yeah.
And then you just had the other maids and butlers and stuff around. So who are you going to get close to? Nobody.
No.
And when you have that kind of bitter, you're just going to be bitter.
Yeah.
And I mean, even the relationship between the kids in the beginning, like they worked together to attack each governess that came in. But like you really didn't see them, kind of chummy.
Yeah, they didn't like each other. They didn't hate each other, but they didn't like each other.
They knew they were going to be occupying the same space, and they had to get along.
Well, one of the things with that,
2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours. but the kids, I forget when it happened, but one of them had said the reason that they had tormented all the governesses was how else were they going to get their father's attention?
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of telling right there.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think even now today there are a lot of parents who watch this movie and they could probably see a lot of their kids' actions.
Yeah.
In it. I think this is really it's definitely a family movie, and it's definitely something that I think it comes across the boards for every family out there.
Yeah.
Whether you have a good family, a singing family, a bad family, kids who are acting out, you've got something for each one.
Yeah.
Something that everybody can relate to. I'm like,
I would agree with that.
Woman, and then, I'm talking about how I can relate to 7 Austrian kids during World War II. Come on.
But that's the truth right there.
Yeah.
That's the truth, is that a family's a family.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's blood family or not is irrelevant. I mean, you pick your friends, you pick your family.
Yeah.
You may have some blood relatives that sometimes maybe you don't talk to as much. And sometimes you have friends that you talk to constantly because they're your family. And I think this story shows just that, because Maria wasn't part of the family.
No.
She became very quickly part of that family, though. Just the love. I mean, it's just like you said. How do you find out that you have something in common with somebody in another country in a completely different era?
Yeah.
It's because the story is so true. It strikes a chord in you that says, hey, this could be you. This could be them. This could be this other person. It's just very, I'm not sure what the psychological term would be, but it's just very true to the soul.
Yeah.
And for as silly and as dumb as the Brady Bunch is, you can watch the Brady Bunch and go, okay, I see how a family should be. And like you said, those kids aren't, supposedly, blood related, but they're family.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting because I look at that with a critical eye now. I'll watch one of those every once in a while. I'll be like, okay, this is bad writing, bad this. But there's a lot of chemistry between all those kids. And between the guy who played the dad,
Robert Reed,
take them on family vacations.
Oh wow!
Like he would take the entire cast, and they'd all go to family vacations. And there was one of the kids was telling the story where they were all at a ski lodge, And this is either right after or right before the show ended, or second or third season. I'm not sure when. But they're all at the fire, like around the ski lodge. Some of them are learning how to ski. Some of them already know how to ski. And the guy had gotten up to go get them cocoa or something. He was going to come back. And somebody's standing there watching. They walk by the kids and they stop. And they come back and they're like, I thought you guys were just on TV. You guys were a real family. but it was that, like, none of the other parents were with them. No, like, this guy just took them and was like, okay, we're all going on vacation. Let's go. And he took really good care of those kids. From what every one of them have said, he was just like the most loving guy around that you could possibly have around on set as a human being. Like, he made sure the directors didn't yell at him. He made sure they got fed. He made sure they got their breaks. He made sure they took their baths. Did whatever they were supposed to do. He was like the parent on set. So that's all, like, and it comes through on that show, as silly as it is, but it comes through on stuff like this too.
Yeah.
It comes through on really good family unit movies. If it's done well, it's done really well, and you can feel it. You know it's true. And that's the common truth, I think, in this movie, is the Von Trapp family, and how well it's written.
Yeah.
I went on a tangent, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like it was Maria and the Von Trapp family, or it was Captain Liesel, Maria, and the rest of the kids. Yeah, like I said, it's the whole, and everybody had a voice.
Yes.
No matter how little they were, they were allowed to give their opinions, say what they liked, say what they didn't, say what they wanted to do. Now whether or not it's what they did, but everybody was heard.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, just in friendship and in family.
Oh, without a doubt, because all anybody ever wants is to be heard. They don't want to be ignored, and like you said, that's what the kids were feeling from their father.
Yeah.
Got somebody in there who heard them, and then took that and told him. Yeah. Kids are trying to get you.
Oh, she went right at him. It was great.
Mad. How dare you tell me about my kids?
And then when, it's so funny because she's going in on him and he goes, "That's enough, Captain Maria." Like, realize, like, who's who here? Like, boss. Yeah. And it took her to, kind of get him to that point to realize, I've got 7 kids here who have just want me.
Yeah.
They don't want anything else, and that was, I think that's when, you could start to see his change. Of course, they still had to get rid of the Baroness, but,
When he saw that, I think, how warmed up the kids were to her.
Yeah.
I think he instantly, like, oh, all my kids just adore her, so I can adore her too. Oh, but wait, I'm a captain, and I have this girlfriend that I'm supposed to be getting married to. Oh, damn, I guess I got to do what's expected of me, which was marry the Baroness. And the Baroness saw this coming from a mile away, and she's like, I'll never win.
Yeah, but she also, I think, even though, of course, I think Max had asked her something, and she said, well, there's boarding school. I'll send the kids off to boarding school.
Right, she had her plan.
she had that plan, but she also said when they broke up, she told the captain that she needs somebody who's not independent. She needs somebody who needs her and her money. Yeah. And it wasn't working for her, but they both felt, I think they both were kind of felt like in a trap, or they were doing, like you said, what they were supposed to do.
Yeah. And, what everybody expected instead of what they wanted.
Yeah.
Or what they needed.
Yes.
It's a good story. And how many people have fallen into that trap? And like, how many people have you met that are just miserable, and you're like, well, just stop doing it. Well, I can't. No, yeah, you can. You may not like it. It may be a little painful, but you can stop doing stupid things. I stopped smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day many years ago. Guess what? It was hard, but I did it.
Yeah. It's there's so many different life lessons you can learn from this. just from, family, yourself, other people, just kind of, they focus so much on, there's so many different themes.
Yes.
And I mean, seeing somebody's life from their point of view.
Yeah.
Trying to understand everything that they're going through, and just even like with the kids especially. Like, kids are so fragile.
Yeah.
And just to see how she was able to get them to, in all a matter of words, be kids again.
Yeah. Well, she didn't want to play, and he was mad.
Yeah.
You gotta let him play. You gotta.
Yeah.
They're kids. Yeah.
Like, I remember when he was going through and he said, at such and such time, they'll march around the backyard. And I'm like, who marches?
Yeah. We can march 6 kids, 7 kids?
Yeah. Like, come on, they had their little Navy outfits on. Like, try and do that nowadays. Yes, 7 kids in their Navy uniforms. Like, come on.
Marching around your yard.
Yeah.
I like whenever he's like, here, take the whistle. She goes, I'm not going to use the whistle.
Yeah, I'm not a dog.
Yeah. And this is your signal. That's not my signal.
Yeah. She's like, I will not answer to a whistle.
That's right.
First feminist.
Yes.
That's right. He wasn't even trying. It's a common sense thing. It's like, I'm not going to answer to a fucking whistle.
And then, he asked her the question, he goes, were you this much trouble at the Abbey? And she goes, oh, much more.
Yeah. He's like, ah.
Yeah.
Why do you
Such
think
a
I'm
great
here?
character.
Yeah. I mean, the writing was so good. Like, just the quick wit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So much humor.
Oh, my gosh.
It's hard to believe that they didn't, mesh right away, that they locked horns initially.
Mm-hmm.
To see that on them, like, this chemistry on that screen is just phenomenal for the two of them.
Well, that's a true professional. I mean, if you really think about it, like, and I think that's what a lot of actors nowadays are missing. It's that acting is an art.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a job or just a paycheck. And you see that especially with a lot of British actors. Like, they take this art form and they just transcend it to a place that, it's unbelievable the way that they perfect everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take any British actor and compare him to, any American actor. And as far as I'm concerned, the British are going to knock the American actors out of the water because they focus, they train, they're really into it. We may have a handful of American actors who really kind of do that hard work.
Yeah, they can do it. They can pull that off. Yeah. Right.
But, like, I mean, you look at your British actors. They're doing movies. They're doing musicals. They're doing the stage work.
Yeah.
Like, they're always finding ways to perfect themselves.
Well, it's expected of them to do stage work, too.
Yes.
There's a series that I watch, and I've been watching it for years, and it's off now because basically everybody on it's dead. It's called Last of the Summer Wine.
Okay.
And Last of the Summer Wine. It's about this little group of old men that live in this little town in Yorkshire, and they just go around and cause trouble. They're like kids. They just started acting like little kids again, and they just go around and cause trouble. It's very cute, very, very pure, nothing bad. But what I didn't realize was, while this show was going on and while it was being aired, is they would do stage shows, and they would go tour with stage shows. So they were acting and plays in between seasons. Are You Being Served used to do the same thing.
Okay.
They had several different stage shows that they would go do. But it was basically episodes that were never aired. They would just go do the episode or the play, just like it was a regular show. And that's what was expected of those guys.
Yeah.
But it was all part of their training. They were all, not one of them ever went, that's not in my contract, I'm not going to go do it. Every one of them went, okay, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go together, and we're gonna go make this thing together. And that's why, like you said, the British have as far as acting, they have a different sense of ability and what they should do. Try and get a house built in Britain, they want tea time. It's tea time, but the roof is going to cave in if you don't support it. Now it's tea time. You gotta go. It's like, really? We'll be back. Their roof will stay until we're back. I know there's somebody in Britain that's going to listen to this and go, Jesus, a son of a...
We haven't picked up any listeners in Britain yet.
No? Okay, I'm fine. I can make
You're fine.
Don't worry. My sister's best friend just moved to Britain. She's in London now. I'm going to be like, hey, check this out. Show all your friends.
Please.
Show your British friends.
We did get a listener.
Britain.
Hey, Dave. We did get a listener in Poland.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
They understand us.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. I'm always amazed at where this is being picked up at.
Taiwan, Poland, Netherlands.
Nice.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Mostly in the U.S., but
yeah.
Well, we had a bunch of French listeners until I did a bad French impression.
Yep. We'll do Jerry Lewis if they come back.
Whoa, lady, fine lady.
All right. So, Mal, yes. Give us your final thoughts on The Sound of Music.
Definitely one of the best movies ever made. Yeah. And I think that the Academy Awards definitely showed that. And it's, like I said before, it's a movie that transcends time, transcends generations, and teaches you a lot. And it makes you look into yourself to try and figure out, who am I? Am I the captain? Am I Maria? Am I one of the kids? Am I the Baroness? Or am I Max? Who just kind of goes along with the flow on everything.
Right.
And it's fun. It makes you feel good, but it also tugs at your heart.
Yeah.
And it also kind of makes you look, like I said before, at the world through somebody else's eyes. And we can look at stuff in the history books, and we can read it, and we can watch movies, but for some reason with this movie, it makes you feel the hardships that were going on during that time. And I think that's what really just kind of makes it hit home, because in these 3 hours, you go through the gamut of feelings, and emotions, and you learn something from it. And that's why you can watch it over and over again, because you're always going to find something new the next time you watch it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'd say yes to that. Do you know how many, or about how many Academy Awards this won?
Okay, it got movie, music, costume, actress. Trying to think. Christopher Plummer didn't get it. Director and production. I think it was at least 7, I believe.
Wow.
Well, this is probably one of the few movies that I would agree with the Academy's on.
They got it right.
Very few movies that I agree with. Like, usually they're like, oh, it's an Academy Award-winning movie. You got to see it. I watch it. I'm like, who got paid off to give these guys an award? This one was definitely worth the awards that it won. All the way around. All the way around. Absolutely.
Your final thoughts, Dave?
Oh, yeah. I have to agree with Mal. This, like I said initially as a kid growing up, it was one of those movies you had to watch I think it came out on Easter. I wanted it used to come out on Easter.
It felt like that, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And everybody's sitting down and watching it. In my family, there was no singing and dancing together in my family. There might have been a couple of knives pulled on each other, but no, there was no singing and dancing. So nobody in my family could relate to it. And I'm the youngest of 6, so I definitely couldn't relate to it. But as I've gotten older, I see things in it like Mel said, that it's just there's something in it for everybody. I don't care what you are, what religion you are, race you are, sex you are. You're going to see something in this that I think you can relate to, whether it's in one of the songs or all of the songs. If it's the family get together, or if it's, like you said, the captain or Maria, there's something in it for everyone. And I think you need to set any prejudices aside. If you're going to watch a musical in general, you have to set your prejudices aside, because not everybody breaks out in the song. I wish I could. I just want to go just start singing and see if I can get 500 people to start singing with me and then go back to work. But it never happens. They just look at me weird. But there's something in it for everybody. And I really, the production value, the story, the singing, the choreography, the costumes are just, everything is spit polished perfect in this movie. I got nothing bad to say about it.
And I'm going to agree with both of you. I absolutely love this movie. Mm-hmm. Just all the way down to the songs, the dance, every bit of it. It's just so damn good. And for lack of a better word, it's a wholesome family movie that, mm-hmm. as Mal said, everybody can get a little something out of. You can see yourself maybe as Max or as the head nun or anything like that, because mm-hmm. so many different personalities and lives going on in here. It's just damn good. Damn good.
Who do you see yourself as in the movie?
Who, me?
Yeah, who would you, like, if you were like just kind of picking out?
Honestly, probably one of the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't sing. I'm not Maria. I'm definitely not the captain. I'm not Max, and I'm not a Nazi. I'm not Ralph. But
hello, everybody. Okay, Ralph, you can put your hands down now.
But you can see that as maybe you can relate to parts of your life in different times by the kids, and just wanting that attention that you wouldn't get, and that's yeah. So since you asked me that, who do you see yourself as?
Well, let's get Mel's answer first, because I'm curious.
I think I would probably have the sense of humor like Max and Maria, and I think I would probably end up being like one of the kids too.
Yeah.
You know, maybe more than likely Liesel. You know, just kind of carefree.
Good. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
And you?
I'm Gretel, the one who falls the wrong way out of the boat and almost drowns.
But she's so damn cute.
It has to be saved by somebody else. But I got a lot of spunk and verve.
There you go. But you can swim, right?
Yes, I can. Now I can swim. Back when I almost drowned as a little kid, no, I couldn't. That's a whole other story.
That's for the next time.
Oh, Lord. Any other thoughts on the movie from anyone?
No, I think I've hit everything.
Fantastic movie. Good choice.
Fantastic. Must see.
Thank you so much.
Definitely. I had such a great time. You know, let me know what movie you're going to do next.
We will. I'll get to that right now.
Nice lead-in. Yeah.
Thanks, Mal, for joining us on Old Ass Movie Reviews.
No problem.
If you enjoyed this, catch us next week when we review the classic Grease, one of my all-time favorite musicals. So I'm really looking forward to that. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.
I see what you did there. Yeah.